Welcome. It's horror 31st. Every day is horror 31st.
What's up, horror community? We are here, Horror 31st, with another video. I'm Stock.
I'm Pooh.
And today we're talking about The Shining from 1980, the horror classic.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Cinematic masterpiece on all cylinders, but we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite things about it, our top 5 biggest loves. So number 1, got to talk about the characters / the acting. To me, some of the best I've ever seen in a horror movie. I love all 3, but I think the performance by Jack Torrance is incredible. He really absorbs that crazy character like better than I can ever imagine.
Yeah, his performance is great. It's really what sucked me into the movie. Like, I was thoroughly entertained and I kept watching mainly because of him.
Yeah.
His character's insane.
Yeah, him alone is what made this such a high movie for me. Like, the story and everything is great itself, but just him and his quotes and his memorable moments, his look, just everything about the character, he lived it. Like, it was just so good. And I gotta talk about his complete freak out, and it's when Wendy's looking at his papers, right? And he's typing the whole movie. She's looking. And the sentence is over and over, the same sentence he's been writing for months that he didn't want her to disturb him about. God, he's writing the same thing, dude, for months. And I have to stress that because that's how wild this guy is, dude. And like when he flips out, when he sees that she figured out what he was doing, she figured out how crazy he is, he just confronts her. He's like, "Oh, what's the issue? What's this?" He's like making fun of her. He's like walking up the stairs and he's like, "I'm gonna bash your brains."
It's funny because he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains. I'm like,
dude, 10 out of 10, dude. 10 out of 10 character.
10 out of 10. I agree. I would give it 11 out of 10 if I could.
Same, dude. Same. And then we gotta say the iconic scene. I think everybody as a horror fan knows it. You don't even need to know The Shining to know here's Johnny. Iconic. And I also have to talk about the other 2 in the movie. Shelley Duvall, she played Wendy, his wife, and I think she did a very, very good job at playing that innocent wife, which plays against the crazy husband.
Yeah, I think the kid also, I thought it was really impressive. The kid, Danny, how, he's a kid and he was able to play 2 different personalities as a character. I thought that was very impressive.
Extremely good.
And back to Jack's character, like, his acting was so good. Like, he made me just kind of, I know you love his character. Like,
I love him.
I love him, his character for the character, but like, I kind of hate him also. I'm like, you're a horrible human being. You treat your wife and kid awful. But his whole performance just made me keep watching. So I appreciate the character.
You appreciate him. You understand why he's an icon.
Yeah.
And another thing about him is even from the beginning of the movie, you don't trust him. You just don't.
No
not for a split second. But somehow, even as creepy and weird and untrustful he is in the beginning, he gets worse and worse and gradually worse throughout the entire movie. It's incredibly impressive, and I could talk about him forever, but maybe in another video we could just talk about him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the second thing that we love about this movie is the soundtrack, the scoring, all the sound effects. I thought it was incredible. You see, one of our favorite shots is that the slow zoom up on Jack's face, which I'm not even gonna talk about the character performance or the camera work yet. I'm just gonna talk about the sound, because those high-pitched noises that you get where you get that zoom in, it's just so creepy. It adds so much like of this mood and energy to it. And throughout the whole movie, you get those high-pitched screeches. You get like when he's talking to his son Danny, like it's kind of without the music it would seem more genuine, but because you get that creepy sound in the background.
Absolutely.
It gives that creepy, it really helps give that creepy mood.
It does. And I want to talk about that scene you just talked about of him staring outside, because it's such like a nice scene. You see like a mother and a son, like they're playing outside. And then it zooms into the inside, and he's just staring at them like that with the sound effects, and it's beautiful scene.
It is incredible. And I also just, one other thing, besides the high-pitched screeches and all those other things, you get like, I noticed they used a lot of heartbeats in the background. There was a lot of heartbeat sounds in the background.
It's like, I saw some people say it's like a heartbeat of the evil hotel at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can see that though.
So that
I don't know if it's true. There's a lot of guessing about this movie. A lot of question marks.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to analyze in this movie.
Yeah. Also, the opening, the main theme song is an iconic theme song when they're going through like the drive, and it's just the opening shots where the title screen comes across. The main Shining theme, great, and then the song they play at the end when it's him in the picture. They play a classic, They play a classic song. They play a classic song, and I listened to it so much.
That was a great song.
Had to talk about
at the end, yeah.
All right, so our number 3 is going to be the suspense in this movie. When it comes to horror movies, I love suspense. I love it, especially in a movie like this where there's low kills, which we're going to get into a little later. But the entire movie, like, you're at the edge of your seat. Like, every scene, it's like, is something going to happen? Is something going to happen? And Jack is just a ticking bomb throughout the entire film. And you just feel the tension every time. It's him talking to his wife, him talking to his son, just shots of the hotel. Like, you can never trust a moment.
Talking about how you said there are only 2 kills, that brings up the suspense.
Yeah.
I think that it's really cool, like how you could have a horror movie like this and only have 2 kills in it. Like, it differs from what you would say Friday the 13th movie.
It's night and day, dude.
Exactly.
It's night and day.
It has a stronger story
Yes.
and less kills. I feel like in a horror movie, you could go the route of Friday,
Yeah.
where you have like no story, but you have a whole bunch of kills, but you watch for the kills.
Yes, more weight in by the kills. Yes.
But then in this movie, you have
the
opposite, where you have more of a story, but less kills. But the story makes up for it.
Yes, definitely. I feel like this movie, you didn't need a lot of kills because, like you said, it's so story driven, and you're so like the suspense and the acting and all that. It draws you in the entire movie that you're not even really thinking about kills. Like whatever. But when it finally leads up to him killing off the character Dick at the end, you're like, holy fuck, like, fine. I didn't mean to curse, but...
Dude, Dick was so funny. He had this whole, like, he spent so much of that movie making his way to the hotel. He walks in, he got an axe to his chest.
He's like the superhero, which he did do something big, though. He did get killed in a second, but he brought them the vehicle that let them leave. If it wasn't for Dick, they'd be screwed right now.
Dick, go.
Dick legend, dude.
Dick, go.
Dick icon. Yeah, and then the other death in the movie, which we gotta talk about, the man himself died. Jack Torrance, and he's just, and it's such a funny shot because it's him going through the maze. He's chasing his son for so long, and it's such a good scene. And then it just instantly cuts, dude, to him frozen. Like, instantly cut.
That confused me at first. I was like, wait, what? I was like, okay, we just jumped in time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's like a weird death for people. I like it. I think it's just like it's interesting to me. It's like what the hell just happened?
Exactly.
It's funny.
That whole maze scene was so good too. Like, you had like a good solid couple of minutes without any dialogue or anything. It was just, it's like this whole heist scene. Like, this guy is chasing the kid. There's no like verbal communication besides him yelling Danny, but it's mainly just shows like Danny running, the mom running, Jack running.
Just a disaster, dude. A
just
mess.
a heist, and it's just like, dude, like, it's so cool. It's just telling a story through just action and like no dialogue whatsoever.
1000%. And I've seen some people say like, oh, it goes on for too long. To me, it shows how big that freaking maze is. Like, it should be long.
Crazy.
The maze is giant.
It's crazy.
It really adds to it.
The fifth and last thing that we really love about this movie is the camera work. So me, myself, when I was watching this movie, I was appreciating all of these technical elements so much. I just loved it. I love cameras. I love editing. I love all this stuff. So
I feel like this stuff sticks out to you just as much as like the movie itself.
It does. It does. And that's why I appreciate it so much. Like, I see like, even like the opening shot, like at first I was like thinking, is this a drone shot? Like all of all the landscapes. I'm like, but this is like in the 70s and 80s.
Dude, it was filmed in probably like 78-ish.
Yeah, so then I found out that they used a helicopter or something to get those shots, which is amazing. And then like all like the motion shots, like they have dolly shots when the kid's like riding a little bike down the hallway, and you just have the camera rolling down behind him on a dolly. I thought that was so cool. And back to one of our favorite scenes, the zoom up on Jack's face, dude. First of all, phenomenal facial performance. Dude. And then you just see like the slow zoom being used perfectly on his face. I just love that so much.
The scene of, like we talked about again earlier, where he talks to Danny when he comes upstairs to get his toy. And it shows like him, it shows Danny walk in, but it shows his dad, it shows Jack in the background sitting up on the bed. It's great camera work.
It's just the way like how you set the scenes up for the camera, like some of the aesthetics and just how the camera shots look, how the angles of the cameras, all that stuff is just so nice. It's just like, even like you see like so much beauty in the movie too, like even in the beginning, like the landscapes, you see the hotel, like the hotel itself is beautiful. Like you see like a lot of the shots, you see the big ass, the big hotel rooms, all the scenery in the background. It's beautiful. It's just a lot of scenery, a lot of great camera shots, motions, movements.
I'm sure you could say, as like your knowledge on camera work, probably one of the best you've ever seen in a movie.
It is. It is very great. Like that's one of the reasons that I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie itself, as entertainment wise, I give it like an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But quality of the movie, like everything we just said, like cinematic masterpiece, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I give entertainment 9 out of 10. Man, that's a very different video.
Yeah.
But yes, camera work in a way, 10 out of 10 for sure. We see eye to eye on that, definitely.
So for the end of this quick view, we're going to give 3 ratings, and that's called the Horror 3. So for this movie, we're going to rate the characters and their performances, the story of the movie, so the overall quality, how strong the story was, and the aesthetics. So aesthetics, we're going to include our rating on camera work, scenery, and also sound effects and music scoring.
So we're about to hit you with the Horror 3.
Characters, story, and aesthetics.
Alright guys, thanks for watching our first ever quick view type video. This is something different we're trying, a quicker take on a movie. We definitely want to do a lot more movies with that same recipe. But thank you guys for watching. This is our first thing besides Friday the 13th, so it was fun. It was definitely fun.
We're gonna see what's coming next. We might have another quick view coming next. We're gonna have some movie series coming up, maybe the Nightmare series.
Yes, yeah. Gotta get back to that.
Some solo movies. So
yeah. So guys, thank you for watching. I'm Stock.
I'm Pooh.
Rat out.
You stole my line.
Horror 31st out.
Rat out.
Do you like scary movies? Subscribe to Horror 31st for more killer content. See you next time, and of course, happy Horror 31st.